Yes, you read the title of the video correctly. I will be the first one to say it. I think UFC favors grapplers and wrestlers over strikers. Yes, you heard me well. Before you complain about me to the MMA gods and you kick me out of the community and you make me a laughingstock, wait. Let me explain to you what I exactly mean by this. And if you stay until the end of the video, I will break down all 3 points why UFC is so biased in favors of grapplers. And look, if you disagree with me, stay until the end and then in the comments let me know what you think and let's get straight into the point. I am definitely not talking about the styles. I'm not saying that grappling is a better style than striking or one or the other. I am talking about the UFC as an organization. I'm talking about how this is reflected in the scoring system as well as the rules of the UFC as a fighting promotion, not the arts of the fighting itself. When a fighter who specializes in striking meets a fighter who specializes in grappling in a fight in the UFC, the rules of the organization and the scoring both favor the grappler. Okay, so first, let's talk about the scoring system of the UFC. This has been a topic for ages. This is the most broken scoring system in the history of sports. Look, you have a 10-point system, right? And out of those 10 points, you only use 2 of them. Maybe 3, like once every leap year or something. Most rounds in the UFC end up being scored 10 points to 9 for the winner or 10 points to 8 if it's a really dominant round and the other person almost dies and Mario Yamasaki doesn't stop the fight. And this has many horrible implications for the sport. However, perhaps the worst one is that it gives so much advantage to grapplers over strikers and all other styles. Now let's think through this together. Striker and grappler are fighting. What does the striker have to do to win a round 10 to 9? Look, the striker has to always be on his feet, always expose himself to danger, keep moving, avoid strikes, avoid takedowns, land strikes, slip, this, that, and look, and then even if you do all of that and you whoop the other guy's ass, you still win the round 10 to 9 in most cases, even if you whoop the other guy's ass. However, then look at this. What does a grappler have to do to win a 10-9 round? It is true that in some cases grappler can be very dominant and it happens very often. However, I think more often what happens is a grappler needs only one takedown. So what the grappler needs to do, maybe avoid some strikes initially, shoot for a takedown. If you get the takedown, you just keep your opponent there. You're not exposed to danger. You don't have to land a single strike. You don't have to do anything. You just have to exert control and trust me. I know it's not easy to control someone on the ground, okay? And I understand that it is exhausting to wrestle. However, you do need only one takedown and you take the round. You can get your face punched in for 2 minutes. You get a takedown. You hold a person down there for 3 minutes, deal 0 damage, do nothing, you're gonna probably win that round due to control time. You can just backpack someone. I mean, think of Aljo and Piotr Jan. And trust me, I'm not taking anything away from grapplers. Look, it's a beautiful sport. I train jiu-jitsu. I love it. However, objectively, the scoring system is bad because will you score the same way? If I punch your face in for 5 minutes and you can't do anything to me, I avoid all your strikes, I avoid all your takedowns, I stuff 20 takedowns, I sprawl, and then I piece you up. And I get a 10-9 round. What you do is you get pieced up, land a takedown, hold me for 3 minutes, and you win the round with the exact same number of points. That's the problem. I don't mind if you win the round, but how is that even scored the same? It's not supposed to be scored the same way. Sure, you take me down, you don't deal any damage, you don't threaten submissions, you just have control time. Sure, you get a 10-9 round, but then if I'm avoiding all your strikes, avoiding all your takedowns, punching your face in, give me a 10-7 round, right? I don't know, 10-5, like use the entire scale of points. And of course, this scale has many points, but as you can see, one of the implications of this 10-9, sometimes 10-8 system is that it really favors grapplers. Like it doesn't give a difference, it doesn't show any difference what you do as a striker or as a grappler, which I think is absurd. I mean, I think we need to judge these rounds differently. And of course, as a grappler, you get a takedown, you ground and pound someone to death, man, get a 10-5 round. I don't know, like, let's just be honest about the damage dealt. Let's be honest about how much effort and how much danger you put the other person in. So overall, for this point, the scoring system that only uses 2 numbers out of 10 definitely favors grapplers because of their style of fighting and because of the style that they can use to win rounds safely. Now, let's get into the second point. We already talked about scoring. Now, let's talk about rules. Let's talk about UFC specific rules that favor jiu-jitsu players, grapplers, and wrestlers. And by far, I'm not the first person to say this. This has been said many times before by many other people. So let's get into it. Think about the rule: no knees or kicks or whatever to the downed opponent. Then think about 12 to 6 elbows. Think about all the rules like this. They say these rules are there to protect the fighters, and maybe there are. However, these rules give a good advantage to grapplers. Grapplers live for the ground game. I mean, they love the ground game, they love takedowns, their double legs, and look, if I can't kick you on the ground, if I can't knee you on the ground, if while you're going for a double leg, I can't elbow you from above, right? Because you're exposing your head. That gives you at least a slight advantage. But I believe it gives you an even bigger advantage, right? Because you feel more comfortable on the ground. If something goes wrong with your double leg, you can always kneel down and hope you're not going to get kneed. And look, I understand we fight for fighters' safety too. I understand we want fighters to be safe. But you can't tell me I can throw a devastating head kick while you're standing up, but throwing a knee while one of your knees is on the ground will somehow make a devastating difference between the two strikes. Please, come on, it doesn't make sense. And we had multiple referees coming to Joe Rogan podcasts and other podcasts, and these are UFC referees, talking about how, let's say, 12 to 6 elbow, that's illegal. The rule doesn't make much sense. Like, there are so many more dangerous strikes which could be used, but no, this one is illegal. Or knees to the down opponent are illegal. I think this gives, again, an unfair advantage. Not allowing strikers to do these things is like telling wrestlers, oh, you're not allowed to slam your opponent on the ground, right? Oh yeah, you can gently pick them up and trip them and do all this. But no, you can't pick them up and slam them down on their head, right? I mean, that should be even more dangerous. Come on, we've seen people. Think of Rose Namajunas. She got slammed on the neck. Man, you're gonna end up in a wheelchair like this. It's not a game, right? So how is this safe, right? So imagine that rule. Like, all of a sudden you're a grappler and you're not allowed to pick someone up and slam them down. That would be like the equivalent of the rule. It's just not fair. We should use even standards for all types of martial arts, because that's what UFC is supposed to be about, right? That's what MMA is supposed to be about. Overall, guys, those are my main points. So tell me, do you agree with me? Did you enjoy this video? If you did, please drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know even if you agree or disagree, because I know there will be a lot of people that will disagree with this. But look, once again, just to clarify, I'm not saying grappling is better or worse than striking. I'm just saying the way UFC is structured makes it so that it favors grapplers, right? So please let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want more videos like this rather than maybe breakdowns or analysis. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.